recording.
I am.
You should have told me we were recording. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. I am with Chris Farrell today.
Hello.
What do you do again?
That's a very good question. Internet marketing, teach how to create automated online businesses and all that kind of pertains, all that sort of geeky online stuff. I like to simplify it. That's kind of my thing. I like to simplify having an online business.
It sounds incredibly boring.
Thanks so much.
And what was that award that you won?
Oh, the award. Well,
award.
A big online marketing site called I Am Report Card.
IM stands for Internet Marketing.
Put me at the #1 internet marketer online for a few years running. That's why I laughed, because your face was like, really? You? This English guy?
I didn't know this 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so there you go.
#1 online. Online being a global space. So that's who we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, I was just saying before we recorded, and I mean absolutely 100% serious here, I've watched your videos online. I recognise this set, and I'm here. So just proof that anything can happen if you think positively enough about it. So thank you for inviting me.
Are you saying that people can manifest $1 million?
No, I'm definitely
just
not
by
saying
thinking
that.
about
Definitely.
it?
Don't even start me on that.
We were talking earlier about how some people preach that, and that's a whole other story.
And it's a whole load of rubbish.
Now,
you can do it if you back it up with action. That's the key thing. You need action, you need a strategic plan, but they conveniently forget to mention that.
Oops.
But, yeah.
Just manifest it. Just think about it.
Don't.
It will appear.
Don't. Yeah, I just sit on my couch and I think about a new car and it will appear. No, it won't.
So, Chris and I were talking today about energy, and you have been struggling with your energy for quite a while, and going through peaks and troughs. So really high energy and then crashing.
Yes.
And how this is actually a big issue for a lot of people. So can you tell us a little bit about that? I know that you've been playing around with your diet and your food intake, and that you've had some realizations lately.
Sure. So, yeah, you worded that perfectly. That's exactly what I've been struggling with. I've struggled with this for years, and it got to the point where I was really frustrated about it, because I would often wake up, I'd have 8 hours sleep, I'd go to the gym, I'd exercise, I was eating healthily, and at 11 o'clock in the morning I could go back to sleep again. And I tested everything. I mean, I had my blood work done, I had thyroid, checked testosterone, diet, supplements, nutrients. I tried everything. Nothing really made a difference until I had a conversation with somebody who may be in this video, and we identified what it was. Yeah. And so I really just want to come on here to say thank you for this revelation.
You're welcome.
And can I share what it was? Or?
Yeah, please share.
This will probably sound like, as indeed most things in life are when they're explained, incredibly simple. And it should be simple. And essentially, I was doing all the right things, food intake wise, but I was just eating. It sounds ridiculous to say, too much of it. Yeah. So in your macronutrients, you know, too many carbs, too many proteins, too many of the right fats altogether. So everything was, you know, on paper, textbook correct, but there was just too much of it. And you're the one that kind of opened my eyes to this. Yeah. So essentially, and again, I know many watching this, you might think, well, we kind of get that already. But essentially, the secret is to eat little, but more regularly throughout the day. Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit frequently.
Yeah.
So we were talking about like that. So eating small meals throughout the day and like keeping your energy up. So essentially what that means is you're keeping your blood sugar up.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
At like a decent level.
Because there's nothing worse. Have you ever been like you're doing everything right, and at midday you could go to sleep if you lay down?
Yeah.
It's
so
just
for you as a high energy person, Chris saying that he would or could go to bed at 11 o'clock in the morning, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah. And I know that, you know, for people who eat too much during the day, right? You don't have to be a regular binge eater or a super emotional eater to actually be someone who eats too much throughout the day, because that's actually ingrained in our culture as is, correct?
Yep.
Like, we're fed too much food at a restaurant. We are given the wrong amounts of nutrients in most meals. And so anybody who's not paying attention to what they're eating, and anyone who's not educating themselves, like you have been doing, could experience those crashes, right?
It was, yeah. I mean, it's just so fascinating hearing you explain it so well. That's exactly not only where I was, but the reason I was so passionate about this is tons of my friends. Interestingly, most of them guys. I don't know whether there's a guy thing here. had or could all relate to this as well. So I think it's a very common challenge that many people have.
I think men too, and I'm definitely not playing the men-women game here in terms of work, but men like really charge through when they're working. And so if you're working on a regular basis and you don't take time to pull back and relax a little bit, you don't pay attention to what you're eating. So I'm not saying that that's necessarily a guy thing, but I do know a lot more men than women who don't pay attention to that, who would not go through what you're going through right now, playing with your food and understanding your nutrients. They just want to be fed and that's it. Like, they don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
So you're taking those amazing steps to actually educate yourself on what you're doing. So
thank you.
The education here, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you're doing it. The education here is partly, yes, eating small meals throughout the day. And I suggested an app to you that you're going to start using now, which is my Fitness Pal.
Yes.
Which I absolutely recommend for anybody, you guys, if you're watching this video, go download my Fitness Pal. The free version is still very useful. And you can see the actual nutrition that you're getting throughout the day. And I've said this before, your body will crave food if you're not getting enough actual nutrients, right? So even if you're physically full, your body might tell you I'm still hungry because it hasn't gotten enough protein or it hasn't gotten enough carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the conversation that we had this morning where we're like analyzing what you ate for breakfast.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fat, a lot of carbohydrates, and very little protein.
Thanks, yes.
And
thanks for sharing that.
Sorry.
Just said, I won't tell anybody, don't worry. Just put it on Facebook. No, it's, you're right.
I can cut that out.
Okay. No, I don't mind.
So you guys get, I think the point here is whether you have a serious relationship with food or a typical relationship with food, if you are experiencing these energy valleys, it's worthwhile to educate yourself on what are macronutrients, on starting to actually portion your food throughout the day. And
Tell me where's a good place, because that's exactly where I'm at, and that was the challenge. Like, where do you actually start? So I don't want to keep this video too long, but like for 30 seconds, where would be a good place to start for me and many people that might be feeling I do get these energy dips? I understand that I need to get my macronutrients kind of in balance. So where would I kind of start?
Perfect. When you prep your plate like normal, then take whatever your protein is, right? So you should have some form of protein on your plate and obviously some vegetables. Choose veggies over fruits first. And if you have this like big piece of meat, I think that's kind of one of the things that we tend to do in the US is you have this giant piece of meat on your plate. Take at least 1/3 off of it, because chances are that it's probably too much.
Okay.
Most of the time. If you have something heavy on your plate, like a potato chips, any kind of heavy carbohydrates, rice, those kinds of things, have just the measurement that I would suggest is no more than a half a cup. But what that would look like is probably about a handful. So it's like if you were holding your hand this way and it was about that much. Don't eat any more than that.
Okay.
Is that like useful information?
Yeah, I want to write all this down. I just want to kind of...
Is that useful for you though? Like if you're looking at your plate, if somebody else served you, you do want to cut some of that meat off probably because
okay. No, it's
typically it's too much.
Completely.
Save that for later. Eat that as a snack.
Yeah.
Because just like a small piece of protein as a snack could actually be a fantastic snack.
Yeah.
You know, I can go into all the different types of foods and stuff and portioning them out, but I think that typically is a great place to start. Breakfast, you guys. Breakfast, start there, okay? Don't eat sugar for breakfast. Don't eat cereal. That's sugar. Granola is sugar. Fruit is sugar, right?
Yeah.
Yogurt, there's tons of sugar in there.
Yeah.
So
no sugar.
No sugar. Sugar's evil. So is that helpful to you though? Like, you know, for breakfast, to cut out the bigger portions that would lead to high sugar.
I can't wait.
High blood sugar content.
I can't wait to try this. When's your book out? That's what I want to know.
You're too kind.
I want to. But this needs to be written like literally step by step, because there's tons of people like me that know that they want to make this change, but essentially need an idiot's guide to it.
I think
the desire is there, the passion is there, but you know, we need a step 1, step 2, step 3 sort
Yeah.
of how to do it.
I think if you're a more is better kind of person, because you eat whole foods, you eat great food, right?
Yeah.
But you're still getting these energy crashes.
Yes.
So if you're a more is better kind of person, realize that your stomach is this big, whatever your fist size is. Give me your fist. Okay, so yours is a little bit bigger than mine. And go with that. So if your food is much bigger than this,
I've heard this, yeah.
try visualizing and maybe taking on your plate, like put things on your plate the way you would eat them. Say, okay, I'm just going to eat this amount that's on my plate, and ask for the rest to go, or ask for, put the rest in your piece of Tupperware in your fridge. And definitely, as far as breakfast goes, get more protein and less sugar. The carbohydrates is totally fine. Whole grains is totally fine. But you don't want to, all that sugary stuff, all of the breads and the bagels and the croissants and all that stuff, that will absolutely give you an energy crash. It's just going to send your blood sugar way up and then way down.
I did have 3 pastries, 2 croissants, and 1 bagel for breakfast this morning.
And coffee.
Might be.
Did you have coffee too?
And coffee. I think we may be finding the root of the problem.
And drink your
here.
coffee after food,
Oh,
so that it doesn't just like run through your system.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that was helpful, you guys.
It's been super helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I'm excited.
Thanks for coming on.
No, thanks for inviting me.
Where can we find you?
ChrisFarrell.com is probably the easiest place. So if you're interested in learning more about an online business, I'd be thrilled to see you there. Chris Farrell, 2Rs2Ls.com.
That's just, a little website. Just a little award-winning website. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks so much.
Guys, thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.